Politics is a very interesting game. A few weeks ago, the moderates within President Uhuru Kenyatta's camp and those within the Deputy President William Ruto's camp held a meeting and agreed to try and reconcile the two individuals. And during that meeting, they agreed to use church leaders. So they identified Silas Yego to lead that process. And then Silas Yego reached out to the Nyeri bishop, who is highly regarded within President Uhuru Kenyatta's circles. And he also reached out to Bishop Oginde of Sitam. And these three gentlemen embarked on a journey of reconciling these two gentlemen. And the efforts were actually paying off. But something happened during the National Prayer Day. During that event, President Uhuru Kenyatta did not recognize his deputy. Raila Ruto, who has never missed any prayer day, was absent during that day. And when the president was leaving, he used a different exit from his deputy. And even most people had anticipated that at least the president was going to have a small chat with his deputy. That never happened. But the efforts were actually paying off. Because through those efforts, three things happened. Number one, William Ruto's rallies in Kisii, which had been cancelled, were allowed to proceed without any interference. In fact, today, for those who were keen, the deputy president was actually escorted with unprecedented number of police officers when he arrived in Nyamira. And the deputy president has also cancelled one of his rallies, which was scheduled for tomorrow in Muranga. That rally had a lot of political undertones within it. It was designed to coincide with the burial of the two gentlemen who died during his last visit to Muranga. And the president is also expected, together with his deputy and the entire cabinet, to retreat to Taita Taveta, the entire cabinet. And the deputy president is going to join the president. So the efforts are actually paying off. But from all indications, I don't think anything serious is going to come out of that effort. The allies of these two gentlemen, the allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the allies of Deputy President William Ruto are not going to allow those reconciliation efforts to succeed. So today I want us to look at why probably the allies of these two gentlemen are not keen on the reconciliation efforts and why they are benefiting when these two gentlemen are apart. But before we do that, if you are watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And again, I'm still in Nairobi. And by the way, tomorrow I'll be in Msambweni. The ODM candidate is going to present his papers and other candidates. So I'm going to go to Msambweni tomorrow to relay the events as they will be unfolding. So stay tuned tomorrow. Now back to the main issue. The allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta and those of his deputy William Ruto, I'm talking of the headliners, are not keen on any effort to reconcile the president and his deputy. And today it was expected that these two individuals were likely to have a handshake. From all indications, that's not going to happen. The deputy president is already in Nyamira. The president is actually preparing to go to Taita Taveta for a meeting with the full cabinet retreat. So the president and the deputy president probably they might have the handshake there. But from all indications, the allies of these two gentlemen are not ready for reconciliation. Why are they not ready for any reconciliation? Number one is suspicion. The allies of the deputy president believe so well that probably the president is laying a trap for his deputy. That the president is just keen on the deputy president to have a handshake with him so that he can engineer the passage of the Building Bridges initiative through parliament. And once that is achieved, then everything is going to go back to their factory settings. And remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta has summoned the leadership of the National Assembly, both the minority and the majority, for a meeting at State House on Saturday at 10 a.m. And we all remember that the allies of the deputy president were kicked out of those parliamentary leadership. So they are saying that the president is probably just trying to cheat them to pass the Building Bridges initiative. Once that's done, then it will be the end of story. And because of that, I don't see any reason why these guys are going to allow that handshake to happen. Again, you go to the side of President Uhuru Mugai, to the side of President Uhuru Kenyatta. The allies of the president are also not very keen on this handshake, because someone was telling me that the deputy president started showing signs of undermining the boss even before the last general election. So they believe that the deputy president cannot change, and that the president has not wronged him in any way. That the only thing the president requested him to do was to suspend early campaigns, and he found that not acceptable to him. So they believe that the deputy president will not come to this with a clean hand. Even if he will come with it with a clean hand, probably they believe that the deputy president will only do that so that he can get the votes and the support of the president for 2022. But after that, then he will still deal with the president. So number one is suspicion. Number two is the vested interest. Let me ask you a question, and I've always maintained here. Do you think Ndindi Nyoro can support that handshake? Or let me put it differently. Do you think President Uhuru Kenyatta can trust Oscar Sudi once again? So there's vested interest, and because politics is about interest, and that interest is personal, the allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta are not going to allow this handshake. Because if they will allow this handshake, it's going to mark the end of their politics. I'm talking about people like Maina Kamanda. Maina Kamanda has decided that the deputy president is not going to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. Let's talk about the cabinet. People like Karanja Kibicho, people like Fred Matiang'i. Do you think they will allow this handshake to take place? It's because of their personal interest. What about Raila Odinga and his allies? Do you think Raila Odinga and his allies are going to welcome this handshake, so that, assuming today the president reached out to his brother Raila Odinga and briefs him that, okay, I'm going to meet the deputy president, we want to bring all of us together, what's your thought? And then the right honorable then place a call to Junet to seek for his opinion. Do you think something like that is going to happen? Do you think someone like Alice Wahome will survive politics around President Uhuru Kenyatta again? I don't think so. And because of those vested interests, it won't happen. I listened and I read the headline. I read the article on the Standard today. Kipchumba Murkomen is saying that we don't need this handshake. That the president kicked them out of their positions in parliament. So it's basically his personal interest. So in my view, it's not going to happen. People like David Murade, John Mbadi, Ndindi Nyoro, Francis Atwoli, those guys are not going to allow because of their personal interest, which we can conclude is actually vested interest. There are even people who are benefiting directly out of this noise we are witnessing between the deputy president and President Uhuru Kenyatta. So I don't think it's going to happen. Number three is disrespect. Disrespect. President Uhuru Kenyatta might not have any issue with his deputy William Ruto. Oscar Sudi abused the mother to the president, Mama Ngina. I don't think President Uhuru Kenyatta has forgiven Oscar Sudi. I don't think so. David Murade, the deputy president, has consistently mentioned him, has displayed a lot of disrespect to the deputy president, but he remains one of the close allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So do you think this handshake, the deputy president will come with it, and then the next day he's happy laughing with David Murathe? It's not going to happen. What about Alice Wahome and Binti Nyoro and their politics down there? And because these guys have disrespected each other, no amount of effort can actually reconcile the two individuals. Their allies are not going to allow. And this is why when President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga had that handshake, they ensured that all their allies and all their friends were actually kept in the dark, including the deputy president, including the NASA principals, because any moment they were going to be involved, the vested interest was going to come. People were going to invoke the past disrespect, where people like Babu Owino called the president's mother names, on the other side, people were calling Raila Odinga's name. Unless this initiative is between these two individuals, as long as it's not their personal initiative, I am sure it's not going to happen. Number 4 is the 2022 politics. William Ruto is going to run for the presidency in 2022. President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to retire in 2022. The president, for example, has sat down and figured out that we've not really worked in harmony with this guy. What's going to happen tomorrow if he becomes the president? So he must do everything possible to stop him. But again, the deputy president is also focusing on his presidential bid. And the deputy president is already outside there, the ground imekubali. But the question is asking himself, how will he continue with his narrative of hustler nation versus dynasty? Uhuru Kenyatta is a dynasty. How will he continue with that narrative after having the handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta? Having a handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta would mean that the deputy president will now start working as a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. How will he continue carrying the burden of Jubilee, something he's been trying to shed off for a very long time? I am sure because of those 2022 politics, it's not going to happen. Raila Odinga is likely to run for the presidency in 2022. Do you think it's going to be possible for Raila Odinga to allow this handshake to happen? If this handshake between the deputy president and William Ruto is going to happen, then what's there for Raila Odinga? When in terms of votes, in terms of benefits, and I did a comprehensive video about that tomorrow. So because of 2022 general election, I'm sure it's likely not to happen. And lastly, is because of the Building Bridges Initiative. Building Bridges Initiative. That Building Bridges Initiative is where President Uhuru Kenyatta's interests are carved out for. The Building Bridges Initiative, let's face it, is not very popular amongst Kenyans. And if you listened to the deputy president's speech today in Kisii, he also mentioned it. So it means the deputy president is likely to oppose the Building Bridges Initiative report or process. In Kisii, he was telling the people of Kisii that hao watu wakikuja hapa na prime minister, sisi tutakuja na watu wa bodaboda. Wakikuja na sijui what those positions. So basically, because of that Building Bridges Initiative, the deputy president is not even aware. He's been kept in the dark throughout the entire process. The last time this process was launched, the deputy president was really humiliated. And because of that, I don't think he's going to allow this handshake to happen. Let us wait and see. But from where I am sure this handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy is going to be thwarted by the allies of the president and the deputy president themselves. Let me know your thoughts on this matter. And just like I was saying, tomorrow I'm likely to go to Msambweni and I'll give you first-hand accounts on the events on the ground. It's the first time I'm going to try to go to the field and produce a video straight from there. There's something I'm actually going to test there. So let me know your thoughts on all this. And if you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.